Show you something you ain't know about. So now we be taking all night and that
What's going on, guys? We're the Bill Henry Band. I'm Bill.
I'm Philippe.
Dose. Touch. And we're here.
All right, so you guys have been traveling, and people know you as a cover band, right? So now you guys are doing your own album. Tell us about that process.
The process started about 9 months ago. You know, we put a production team together, got with some of the best writers in town. They solicited a lot of material, went through a lot of material, and picked the best songs that I thought would suit the band. And we started putting it together.
How did you guys collaborate? Can you guys kind of just talk about your experience in putting the album together?
The album was actually done before I got in there, but we collabed, like he said, on the material that was, you know, we had actually sat down and said, hey, you know, Larry has some stuff, and we all collabed, and he had some stuff too, and we all collabed and, you know, wrote some stuff in the studio. So, you know, it definitely pushed the process back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the stuff that we collaborated on also fits the same vein that the original album tracks were on too. They all kind of fit our style of what we do when we play covers. But it's to accentuate everybody's strong suits in the band.
Okay. Basically, the idea was to go with, you know, what Dose had presented to us for the album to be, and we had some different ideas, Bill and myself, and you know, we collabed with Philippe in the studio and wrote something that was that kind of pulled the whole album together from different aspects, because we didn't have a song on the album that all of us played on live, and we were able to do that, you know, and present that because, you know, everybody comes to see us play live. So, you know, we wanted to have something that we were doing in the studio that was live. So it was easy for us to do, but it was a fun process because everybody had their input, and we, you know, did what families do. You know, we argued about it, and then we got it done. You know.
first started, Dose's famous quote is, "Just get in the car and ride." And he told me that at first. He told Larry that, and then he told Flip that. Yeah. And you know, him having the most experience, he knew the vision and the concept, you know, of putting the band together, and that's what he said from the excuse me, from the initial point was, you know, get in the car and ride. He said, "Don't tell me turn left, don't tell me turn right, just get in the car and ride." And so when it came down to it, and all the songs kind of started to have a good structure, we were sitting down and thinking about what the album should be called, and I told him, I was like, well, I think it would be only appropriate if we called it Ride. That's what you told all of us from the get-go. So it kind of brought everything full circle.
good studio stories while y'all was recording this album?
I got a great one.
We got a great one, but I will tell you.
No,
off
we
camera.
don't. I have to tell it.
no.
I told
No,
you this is the blessed
no,
water.
you
That's
can-
all. This is the blessed water.
No, we can.
All right, yeah,
Yes,
we can talk
I
about the
can
blessed
tell the
water.
blessed water.
Yeah.
I took.
Don't tell why.
I know. It's all good. Initially, I had been working with the production team, put the album together. At that time, Flip wasn't in the band. Larry was working, so I didn't know who was going to be on the wings. The concept was to build this around Bill and to take him from playing in clubs to a recording artist. So I stayed focused. I pushed, put the album together. Finally, I took him in the car one day. I said, man, come on, let's go for a ride. And I took him to the studio, and he walked in, and everything was about him. And the production team introduced themselves, and it's like, okay, well, let's listen to some things. Boom, we start playing music, and he's like, whoa. For me, I'm like, yeah. So he said, all right, well, let's sing this one. So he started singing, and the studio was sort of uncomfortable for him.
It was real vibey, but it was just out of my element. And when we initially went over there, we heard the tracks, and I thought we were going to hear just the tracks, and we weren't really going to do much recording. So I wasn't even anticipating singing or getting on the mic. So, and then when you
That's
have
the special part about it, because recording is about capturing magic.
Mm.
It's not pre-recorded, it's not pre-rehearsed. So I wanted to be able to capture magic. So I pulled him into that.
And the only uncomfortable aspect was we were in a room, not a divided studio. So if you can imagine having six or seven people
standing
behind you, watching every vocal take that you do, and kind of everybody critiquing it, you're playing it back and everybody critiquing it, and then you're in your own head about what you're going to change, and then you're thinking too much about it. In music, you shouldn't really overthink things. And Randy, he was like, well, I think maybe you just need some water, to hydrate your voice.
First we said, let's light some candles. He came back, put the girl on your screenshot.
Shout out to Akil Isoon. He's dope, but he's real vibey, and he's like he's real into candles and creating a space. And he's telling me he's like asking me a bunch of questions of rapid fire. Meanwhile, I'm so a little bit overwhelmed at first that I still have my headphones on, and there's reverb coming through the mic. Again, we're in an open room, so everybody that's in the room is coming through the mic that's coming into my headphones. So I'm trying to process everything, and he's talking to me, and it sounds like a space alien because all of this reverb's coming on. He's like, I like candles. You want to light a candle? Let's light candles. And I'm like, why is this dude so obsessed with candles? And then Randy's like, I think you need some water. I'll go run to the store and get you some water. And he came back and got me a gallon jug of water and handed it to me and made the joke of, he's like, that's that blessed water. Basically insinuating like, here, have this, relax, calm your nerves, get you some water. And I'm still so spaced out. I'm like, what do you do to the water? Why would he call it blessed water? I'm just like all over the place, but that was probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been in a recording studio. And but I think everything happens for a reason. We captured magic, but everything happens for a reason, because when it was time, fast forward 6 months for me to go in and lay vocals on all the tracks, I felt a certain obligation, because I was a little bit embarrassed, to be honest, that I felt like I was wasting people's time and wasn't as professional as I could have been. So I went in the next time and knocked all the tracks out, and it worked a whole lot better. It was definitely a funny.
But we still captured magic that day.
Mm-hmm.
We never changed that vocal, and that's the most important part.
What song was being recorded that day?
It's called When
The
I
song
Get
was
Home.
called When I Get Home, and it's kind of a sultry love ballad, and it basically talks about a guy thinking about the person that he's in love with all day while he's at work, and getting home to see her, and it was a song that you need to be calm and relaxed for.
We started this thing. We went through a lot of musicians to get the chemistry and the sound that me and Bill were searching for. And like I said, he said, I asked him to get in the car and ride. Don't tell me to turn left and tell me to turn right, And for him to not get discouraged and believe in me, I had to produce, and I had a timeline set, you know, and we played multiple gigs, 2-3 a day. For the first year, we played for no money and paid guys to play with us to get tight and to get experience. And once Larry came in, we had another bass player. He left, and I had been talking to Flip constantly, you know, just letting him know that, because he was booked up. Flip's a great player, playing around town with all the top cats. Me and him played in bands together, you know, we played in church together.
And when we were thinking about bringing Flip on, I thought it was going to be too good to be true, because like Randy said, he's a great player, and we knew he had been busy the year prior, and so I'm thinking, you know, there's no way he's going to be able to be free enough to play
and I kept
all
telling
the shows
him,
that were
"You're
ready."
my go-to guy, man. I need you." And we actually played a gig. Flip tells the story best. We played a gig. He played a gig with another group, and we ended around the same time. And it's like, "Yo, what you doing, man?" "Well, we going down Pretty's." And we all met at Pretty's after our gigs. Shout out to Pretty's. And Flip can tell it from there.
Yeah, we went to,
stick.
and I was just like, man, I just want to come through. You know what I mean? And then we came through, man. Listen,
It was fun.
it was fun, man. It was just like it was like just how we, you know, laugh and joke now and stuff. It was just like a brotherhood, and it was like the chemistry was crazy. I said, if it's like this when we talk to each other and we just vibing, like I could just imagine what it would be on stage. And it's like that all the time. Like all the time. No matter what.
In the middle of songs.
Two can be mad and two can be happy.
Uh-huh.
and yo, you just be like, oh my God. I'm telling you, man, it's all the time.
Yeah. It's fun.
But to get back to your question, yeah, that was the goal from the beginning. We spent pretty much 2 years playing cover tunes and building a fan base, and now that that's there, now it's time for us to do our stuff.
If life is